Chris here, Bids and Review, and I'm sitting here with Paul Hendricks with Bully Ranch, also part of the Austin Facial Hair Club. And we're here talking a little bit about just some things that are happening here in town. One thing is, what do we got coming up here next couple of weeks?
On October 20th, it's going to be the Austin Facial Hair Club's 5th annual dog beard and mustache competition. This year is going to be at the Little Darlin in South Austin, which is a much dog-friendlier venue, a lot of grass, bigger area outside, and a stage. And they kind of gave us the whole, we used to do it in the afternoon at the Mohawk, and they kind of gave us the whole day, so it starts a little later in the afternoon, but we're going to have bands play afterwards and turn it into a whole event, a whole party. So I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's going to be super fun, and this year, Bully Ranch is the beneficiary.
Tell me a little bit about what Bully Ranch does.
Okay, well, Bully Ranch, we just had launched this summer. So Bully Ranch, it's an idea a long time coming. Diane and I both, we lived in Hawaii before we moved to Austin, and we've been rescuing dogs, pit bulls in particular, for about 15 years. And that was one of the goals we wanted to do, was open a rescue. And I really liked Austin. One thing, it was just super dog friendly, which was great. Another thing was the land was a lot cheaper than it was in Washington, D.C. area, which is changing very rapidly here. Yeah. If we would have bought a property then, right when we got here, it would have been great.
Yeah, they say 200's the new 100. So,
yeah, well, I mean, we could go closer to 3.
Man, yeah.
Especially in this neighborhood, South Austin right here. Some of the houses never been remodeled, and we went and looked at them, like 420. Yeah. They've never been updated.
What was that number?
420, 420,000. All of Austin's 420. Wink, wink. And I would go to Austin Animal Center and Austin Pets Alive and take pictures of some of their dogs so that we could post up at the event that were up for adoption. And I was at the Austin Animal Center, and I'd been there for a couple hours, and just getting ready to leave, and I happened to see this dog sitting a couple kennels down from a dog I was taking out to walk and taking a picture of. And he was just sitting there, wagging his tail, like a lot of dogs are jumping up and barking. They're all excited, just wagging and looking at me. And I could see from even where I was standing, he had open wounds on his head and his face, and was obviously had been a fighting dog. Yet he wasn't showing any. He wasn't being reactive at all. In fact, he was just looking at me, wagging his tail. And even as I walked past him, I put my hand in front of his face, like I don't want to even stop, talk to you, pet you, anything. And right as I was leaving the kennel, I turned around and looked at him, and he was still sitting there wagging, looking at me. So I said, all right, I'll take him for a walk. And I took him for a walk and went into one of the enclosed areas where you could take him off leash at the Austin Animal Center. And this guy was just amazing. He just listened. I tell him to come. He came. He jumped up on the bench with me, started licking my face. I could see he still had open wounds. So I was like, obviously this dude sucked as a fighting dog. Like he had no aggressiveness. There was just none of that in him. He was completely trusting and loving. And sitting there licking my face. And I was taking pictures of him, sending them to Taylor and Tony, who are also in the Austin Facial Hair Club. And they were both, because they're both big lovers of dogs. They know that me and Diane are, so they were like, take him. So I was sending pictures to my wife also. And went back in and found a staff member there, and they didn't have any information on him because they had just gotten him 2 days prior. They had found him. He had a catheter stuck in him, which a lot of cowards at run fighting rings will use. So they can't take their dogs to a vet when they have injuries, because vets will call the police because they know what to fight. So a lot of them are vets, backyard vets, and they'll pump them full of antibiotics using a catheter. So he was found with a catheter, open wounds. They took him. They hadn't even named him yet. All they knew was he's a really sweet boy. So we all, he'd obviously been used as a bait dog because he would have been a terrible fighter dog. But a bait dog is what they use. They'll tie up, tape their mouths shut, and teach the other dogs to attack that dog, and not that dog can't fight back. Oftentimes they'll even pull the teeth. That part pulled at me because I love damaged goods. So does my wife because they married me. And he was just so sweet. He's just really, really special. There was something really special about him. So the next day we went back, they cut his balls off, and we brought him home. And we loved him. And within a short amount of time, we had him in obedience classes with Lovable. He flew through basic, the intermediate and advanced classes, got him past his canine good citizen test.
What was his name?
His name, we named him Doggy Trejo.
Trejo.
It was Doggy Trejo because of all the scars on his face, and he was muscular, but just such a sweet soul. like Danny Trejo, and Danny Trejo also does a lot of work for animal rescues. So it was an homage to Danny Trejo, and which ironically, so we rescued him, and before he got to the training, we'd had him a couple weeks, and he burnt down our apartment. He had jumped up on our oven, on the stove top, and he must have turned the oven on, and I had left a plastic cooler sitting on top of the stove, so we didn't have a lot of counter room, and it caught on fire. That was horrible. And so we had to live in a hotel. Thankfully, we had insurance. We had to live in a hotel while we were looking for a new place. And during that time, Danny Trejo came into town, and he was going to be on KLBJ. And we all sneakily got in there the day Danny Trejo was there, so Doggy Trejo could meet his namesake, Danny Trejo. And it was awesome. I got a lot of pictures. It was super cool.
That's cool.
I don't know that Danny Trejo cared that much for me. Or Diane, but as soon as he saw Doggy Trejo, it was just, they locked eyes, and it was a love fest. And he was super honored. He was just like, I can't believe you named your dog, your pit bull, after me. And he was honored at that. Just a special, special dog.
Yeah, I got to actually meet him too at the competition last year.
The dog beer.
Yeah,
right.
he was there.
He was wearing his pit crew vest. That's right. He was there representing the pit crew. And even at that time, he wasn't feeling that great then. We noticed he started having some problems, some health problems. And we continuously kept taking him to the vet, and we couldn't figure out what it was. A lot of times dogs, will eat anything that they walk by, so they thought maybe he had an obstruction, and didn't find that he did. He was eating normally and pooping and peeing normally. It took a couple of months. We kept going like something's still wrong with him, because he would do like the downward dog, but he would stay in that position for like an hour, like he was trying to stretch out his belly. And then they figured out maybe he had an ulcer. We just couldn't confirm what it was. And then December last year, we'd been taking him to the vet again. They were going to go do an ultrasound on him, even to get deeper and see what was in there. And he just got really sick, like started peeing in the house, something he never did. You could tell he was super sick. We took him to the vet and all that weekend, and they finally figured out he did have something that was lodged, and it must have started out really small and had grown over the months. And so put him in surgery, and during surgery he passed away. Surprisingly, because it's a common surgery, but because they think it had already torn his stomach, that just in that amount of quickness, his heart rate, during the surgery, he had a heart attack. Because it was too much going on in his body, and had been for so long. And we were heartbroken. And it's odd to say, a lot of people think it's just a dog, they're just dogs, but our dogs are part of our family. And he, just in particular, was as close to perfect as a dog could be, minus the burning the house.
Arsonist.
Besides being an arsonist, he was just about as perfect as a dog could be. We loved him. Everybody loved him so much. I mean, when he died, we had friends crying. It was just, there were posts put out on by the Austin Animal Center. He was just such a special dog, and a great ambassador for the breed. People are afraid of pit bulls. You couldn't be afraid of him. He would allow you to be. If you were afraid of him, he made sure he came up to you and would just lick you and wag his. He would wag so hard you'd think he'd throw his back out. And we were just, both of us, devastated, like the most heartbreaking. And in between that period of, Titan being put down, Malia dying, and getting him and burning our house down. A couple months after that, my father had passed away, and the day after that, one of my best friends from childhood passed away. So we had been dealing with a lot of grief and stress, and he not only was an angel during that, it was just another kick, to the gut. After that moment, I just started. I couldn't stop thinking about how many other dogs like him are out there that are getting euthanized because no one will take them because of their breed.
Right.
Like 40% of all dogs across the country euthanized every year are pit bull or pit bull type dogs.
Why do you think they get bad raps?
Dog fighting became popular again in the 80s and throughout the 90s, and overbreeding of them. There's just so many out there. A lot of shelters would just put them down right away. They won't even adopt them out. And that rap came with because people were using them for fighting dogs, and they are very strong and they're very tenacious, but they're not. There's no inherent aggressiveness in them. There's no genetic aggression. Pit bull kisses old lady doesn't make the news, but pit bull bites a child,
right.
Does whatever.
Right.
It sells magazines, sells newspapers, gets people to watch. And as we know in our country, people see it on TV. It must be freaking true. So it's just changing that mindset. And that's one of the big goals of Bully Ranch, is not only to rescue these dogs and to rehabilitate them and give them a sense of training, and to work with like the ASPCA and Humane Society when they break up dog fighting rings, to take those dogs and use our skills to train them and just get him back to being trusting. Like for doggy Trejo, there's no reason in the world he should trust us or any other dogs, yet he did. And it's a lesson that we learn not just from pit bulls, but from a lot of dogs, their ability to forgive. You know, like they forgive so easily, and pit bulls are no different. And so it's not only rescuing them and finding them other homes, it's changing that mindset.
As a recipient of the 5th annual Dog and Beard Mustache Championship or competition, what's kind of the vision for Bully Ranch? Like, what's the ultimate goal?
Our goal by the end of year one was to be open, functional, and have dogs that we are already rescuing and adopting out. That part of the goal we've already been doing, adopting out and finding them foster homes and rescuing them, which is great. And so legitimately at the end of this year is just to have the property. I decided to become a dog trainer. So I started interning as a dog trainer and just going through that whole process. So when we get dogs in, that we can at least give them a foundation of obedience training before we adopt them out. Just so they're going out into the world already with a foundation of training, and then also having the training center there where owners that adopt them, if they're interested in advanced training courses, can come to us and take training classes, which would be amazing. Just keep the dogs that we have going out being great ambassadors of the breed,
right,
so they can help change the stigma.
So where can people find more information on Bully Ranch?
BullyRanch.org is our website, and on there you'll find, like, we post we're getting much more regular about posting essays and blogs. I mean, we'll have dogs that are adoptable on there. We have our blogs on there. We have merchandise you can buy on there. You can donate. We have just a whole page dedicated to the myths about pit bulls and facts about pit bulls, and just a lot of other information. And there'll always be great pictures of our dogs and everyone else's dogs. And we have Instagram is Bully Ranch, at Bully Ranch ATX. Always pictures of dogs, information about stuff we're doing. Facebook, Bully Ranch ATX also. Twitter, but we never tweet. So, yeah.
All right, so I'll put all that information down in the description section below, and so make sure you check it out.
Please do.
If you're in the Austin area, October 20th is the dog beard and mustache competition.
Yep.
So your dog doesn't have to have a beard.
Oh, we will have a craft table.
There's a craft table.
And a member of our club, Australian Club, that will help you design a beard for your dog and for your kids and for you. The owner lookalike competition is one of the most popular ones. And last year it was won by someone that had a fake beard on their dog.
Yeah.
And he had a real beard, and they both dressed up like lumberjacks. And it was awesome. So you can still bring your dog, and definitely you will have stuff there. And you can make a beard for your dog.
Go to bullyranch.org as well, and you can check out some of their the Barker Chronicles and some of their blogs, and check out some of the merchandise too. Get one of these fancy Bully Ranch
coral
shirts. The coral, yes.
I feel right now, looking at it in the camera, it looks like a pumpkin.
Well, it is Halloween,
it is.
so it's perfect.
I feel festive.
All right, so thanks again, Paul.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate it. Beards in Review.
Check it out.